Welcome to the Coach's Corner podcast. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. Here, my buddy with me, special guest today, Slinging, Sammy Hood. Sammy, thanks for joining the show, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I'm totally excited and glad to be here, big dog. Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Here on Coach's Corner, man, we try to inspire and educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act. That's right. Brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Sammy's a former cornerback at the University of Alabama, and he grew up in Ider, Alabama. That's right. You might never have heard of Ider, Alabama, up in DeKalb County. Sammy, thank God your mom and dad are still with us. That's a blessing. Talk about your mom and dad and growing up, your older brother.
Yeah, we grew up in a really small town. I mean, I think back then population was 850. It may be 925 now. I'm not sure, but it was really small. Big potato farming. Grew up. My dad was an iron worker over TVA. Mom was a sort of a secretary / housewife, homebody, and I had an older brother. He's about 6 years older than I was, and that's sort of where I've got my athletic, I guess, toughness, because I was hanging around all these big guys, older guys, and they would just treat me like junk, throw me around, and that's kind of where I got a little bit of toughness, So Dad said, if you're going to be stupid, you better be tough. So I said, yes, sir.
I talk about it all the time on the show here, that if it wasn't for my older brothers, I'd have never played, I'd have never played at that level.
Yeah, it's basketball, baseball, football. It didn't matter. You were always hanging around these older guys, and they were roughhousers. So that's
right.
A good thing, though. Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about your high school years at Ider High School. You were a parade All-American your senior year. You played free safety and quarterback. Talk about your senior year, your coaches, Stan Moss and Jimmy Allday. Talk about them and your high school team.
Yeah, we Coach Moss, he was a former Alabama player back in, I guess, the 70s, or, so he was a tough dude. And so, Wishbone, I played backup quarterback under him, and then, of course, my senior year under Jimmy Allday. The crazy thing, too, Paul, was I had the only black helmet on the team. So as a quarterback, everybody kind of spotlighted me. They kind of, you do a fake, or you do this, or do a pitch, and everybody's kind of focused on this one black helmet, and everybody else had white helmets. So he was genius, but I got hit all the time. So
why did you have the only black helmet?
I guess it was just kind of a fake. They were focusing. They look across the line and say, "Okay, we got this black helmet. That's a quarterback." And then I go this way, the ball would go the other way. So it was just a genius plan, but I stayed bruised up all the time. I mean, he killed me. So
did you play multiple sports in high school?
Yeah, I played basketball and of course football and baseball. So played all three sports, and that's all we had really. So we didn't have track, we didn't have swimming, any of that stuff. So, but yeah, since I was a freshman, heck, I played all three sports. We didn't have that many players on the field, but you had to play both ways. And we had on football, we had the biggest guy we had was Rodney Whitaker, and he was like 198 pounds, and everybody else was small. I mean, I was 165 pounds soaking wet. So that's what kind of blows me away. When they started recruiting me, I'm like, gosh, I'm 168 pounds. Y'all sure about this? So yeah, and we just had a great senior year. We had a great team. Everybody was just, we knew each other from, first grade on up to the 12th grade. Right. So we just knew what each other could do. So it was really cool.
What tell me about a champion of yours. My girlfriend Angie always talks about somebody who was a champion for you, a mentor, somebody who gave you, inspiration in high school to be able to think you could play at Bama.
Well, it was Johnny Musso. Johnny Musso was my inspiration for wanting to play at Alabama. And I'd never been to a actually football game until I got recruited, and Tennessee was the first one to recruit me. But Johnny Musso was the guy, the Italian stallion, jerseys, and Paul. I finally got to meet him. I think it was 3 years ago. They were honoring him on the field, and I was kind of sitting on the low in the stands. And he comes off the field, walking on the track, and I'm running down. Johnny, Sammy Hood. I played for Coach Bryant, but you were the guy that inspired me to come to Alabama.
Whoa.
I'm telling you what, I got a picture made with him. I I had him in a bear hug. I wouldn't let him go. I can't let you go. You're the man. So he was like, a little weird, but hey, good deal. So he definitely was my inspiration. So
that's a great story, man.
It was great. So
all right. So you get recruited. Tennessee's recruiting. Yeah, you're an All-American. I guess you're an All-American from the free safety position, from defense.
Well, mostly quarterback. Yeah,
quarterback.
Position. Yeah, played free safety. And when I got recruited, Paul, I went up to Tennessee with Coach Majors, Johnny Majors, and he told me I could play quarterback. I'm like, nah, I know what I'm here for. I'm playing cornerback or free safety or right cornerback. But
right.
So I got to spend a little bit of time with Coach Majors, but when I got recruited by Coach Bryant, me and my parents, we go down to Coach Bryant's, we do our recruiting trip, the whole thing. And we sit down in Coach Bryant's office, and you know how it goes. You sit down on his couch and your butt hits the floor. So,
you're sinking. You've got to step up anyway. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a big guy anyway. So my dad, he was so intimidated, but Coach Bryant spent like an hour and 15 minutes kind of finding out about me, finding out about my parents, what they did. He just took the time to care enough to care about your family. Right. And my dad comes out like, yeah, you're coming here. Like, yes, sir. I'll be glad to. So it was fantastic.
Wow, that's a great story of how you got recruited. All right, let's fast forward. What was your first time in a football game? What year and who was it against?
Well, let's see here. Gosh, when Vanderbilt, Paul. I got put in. I think we were up pretty good, but I remember Coach Campbell like, Hood, yes, sir, get in. I'm like, right now, really? So, pucker factor goes up a little bit, and you're like, okay, I'm going. So we're. I think my first or second play, Paul, and there again, they kind of knew who was being substituted. They were picking on me that first couple of plays. So I intercepted a ball on my second play of college football.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I'm like, did this just happen? I mean, heck, I've done it, man. I made it. So that was my first game.
That was your welcome to the SEC.
Welcome to the SEC, my friend. Yes, sir. So that was one of my shining moments.
What year was that, Sammy? Was that 81 or 82?
Paul, I think
Coach Bryant's last year.
I think it might have been 81. 84 or 85, I got redshirted going in due to an accident. But 83 was the last year I played. So
83 was last year, and 82.
So I led in 82 and 83. Right.
Do you know Coach Bryant made every substitution?
Did he? I didn't.
Yes.
Know that.
Yes.
I really didn't know.
Yes. Yep. Assistant coach came on my show and told me that he made every single substitution. And it was funny because the first game, that I played in was 3 years after I got there.
Yeah,
it was 1982 was last year at Georgia Tech, the first game of the year. And I was just happy to be there, and all of a sudden somebody's poking me. Coach Bryant's calling your name. And I went, no way. Coach Bryant's calling your name. I get up there. He says, get in for Stan Gay. I said, now? That's exactly what
That's my feeling too. Like, no, really? For me? So it's a very humbling experience too. Yeah. Just to know that you've been chosen to play for the university, but just a second, just get the play itself. So, great, just a great time, great. All
right, let's fast forward. Yeah. Christmas Day, December 25th, 1982, Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh,
we all fly into Memphis. Coach Bryant let us go home for a couple of days before his last game. We all flew into Memphis, and number 323, and it was. I remember getting there. You had to come in there, and we all met for lunch, and then we went to remember the sprints we had to do.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Sammy, I stayed up till 4:30 in the morning, got up at 5:30, and my buddies and my brothers, we drank tequila all night long. Yeah. I fly hungover to Memphis with an hour's sleep, and Coach Bryant wants to run us. So he turns to Al Miller, right, our strength coach. Now, Al Miller's on the Mount Rushmore of strength and conditioning coaches in this country.
Amazing. Yes,
he says, run him, Al. Well, I think, Sammy, if I'm not mistaken, my memory tells me like one or two offensive linemen pulled up with hamstrings. It was after like 60 sprints he had us do, something like that. And Coach Bryant walks over to Al and says, Al, I told you to run him, not to kill him.
And it was cold. My goodness, that was one of the
thrown up. Guys were throwing up.
one of the other coldest games was Boston College. Playing against.
Oh, that's the coldest game ever.
Now I think maybe it was sleeting, snowing, ice. I remember Coach Goostrey said, "You fellas won't need any undergarments. It's not going to be cold out there." So here we are with nothing on underneath, and we're freezing our tails off. And it was a cold ball game. But yeah,
Sammy, I had Biscuit on the show a couple months ago. Yeah, Cornelius Bennett. And I know he played like 12 years in Buffalo, man, the lake effect. And it gets cold up in Buffalo because I'm from Syracuse. So I said, Biscuit, what's the coldest game you ever played? And he said, 83 game against BC in college.
There you go. It was freezing. I actually asked the ref, I said, hey, ref, can you button my chin strap? He said, son, I can't feel my hands either. So good luck. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go without a helmet then. How about that?
All right, man. So let's I'm going to shoot out a name, a coach, and you just give me a short description. Ken Donahue.
Oh gosh, workaholic, workhorse, just old school, old style. And I got a couple of buddies of mine that I played ball against in Tennessee, Kelly Ziegler and John Cook, called Cookie Monster and the Gorilla. And they were under Ken Donahue at one point in time, too. They say the same thing. The guy was in there first thing in the morning. He was the last one to leave at night. So that guy was an absolute gentleman, just integrity and intellect, everything. That guy was the bomb, in my opinion.
Gosh darn.
Get him up, down.
Gosh darn.
My hood, you can't catch. You can't run. Get off my field. Now get back on my field.
He never cussed. He was so mean, man. He picked me up at the Birmingham airport when I flew into Birmingham, Alabama the first time. I didn't even know where it was on the map. I thought I was 8 miles from the sun, for crying out loud. He didn't say 3 words to me the whole trip, the whole hour trip. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I? What planet did I land on, man? All right, so another coach, our DB coach, Lewis Campbell.
Oh my goodness. Get those fists pumping, throw them straight down, and he'd come at you and just call you like, Hood, you look like a pig on ice. Now, do something. Tackle somebody. I'm like, yes, sir. Okay.
He would rattle us, man. Oh, my gosh.
Good night, dude. And it just seemed like, and you remember this, there's no time periods. There were no time limit on those periods. There was NTs. And it seemed like Coach Bryant would always go to sleep on the no time periods. And then when he would wake up, he'd grab that bullhorn and be like, okay, next no time. So
hey, you remember that boxing? You remember that boxing match between Larry Roberts and Brent Sewell?
Yes.
Let me get your take on it. I want to get your take on it because I think Coach Donahue had something to do with it because boxing was real big back then. Everybody boxed.
I remember that. So we all stopped practice. They got in. I think Coach Bryant said, go get the gloves. And I'm like, golly, what are they doing? So all of a sudden they took their shoulder pads off, take their helmet off, and they put the gloves on, and they boxed so they couldn't lift their arms up. And I thought, well, you know what? I don't think I'll pick a fight with anybody from this point forward.
That was the point. Yeah, that was the whole point. He'd walk around, end of round 1, blow the whistle, walk around for like 30 seconds. All right, round 2, and he'd blow the whistle. And all of us were looking at each other like, oh, my God.
It was crazy. I was just talking about that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Paul. I'm like, God, I can't remember who it was, but, man, it was crazy. And, we all just kind of –
Larry Roberts and Brent Sewell. Did you see Brent? Brent Sewell was the umpire for the national championship game.
Oh, my gosh. Brent was my first roommate when I first got there. I think he was out of Florida somewhere. I can't remember where. Tampa. Yeah. And golly, Brent was just a monster, just a big old boy.
What a great guy, wasn't he?
Great guy.
He was the umpire. He was the umpire for the national championship game.
No way. I
got to get him on my show. I got to get him on my show and ask him about that fight. Man.
Brent's awesome.
That's unbelievable. Okay. All right. Sylvester Croom.
Oh, class. Knowledgeable, just love that guy. I saw Coach Croom last year, maybe at one of the spring games or spring practices that Coach invited us to. But still, same old guy. I mean, he's just phenomenal. Coach Croom was just grassroots, knows his stuff, get in your face. He wants to make you better. And that was Coach Grimm. He made an impact on everybody. And he still is, I guarantee it. So he's
what
phenomenal.
a quality whole family, man. Quality people. Holy cow. You know,
Absolutely.
that's one thing, and I needed to get away from Syracuse, New York, man. I need to get away from all that scene, man. When I came to Tuscaloosa, I was flabbergasted at the Southern hospitality and the quality of the Christians, and at that time. And all right, so let's go a couple more. Let's go Mel Moore.
Oh, Coach Moore, there again, another class individual, smart, knows his stuff, and that guy had a heart of gold. There's no doubt about it. So. Was it Victor Ellis that Coach Moore just took care of? I had a good friend of mine, Tim Miller, Tim and Kathy Miller, that helped with Victor. But Coach Moore was just that guy that you always look to, like this guy's cool, he's knowledgeable, and just love him. Man, we just had a good group back then.
Oh my gosh, the coaches we had, the coaches we had were unbelievable.
Al Miller, oh my gosh,
Al Miller.
So remember the barrels he set up downstairs in the Coliseum, down the lower gym, and he said, "Fellas, there's barrels in each corner. Use them if you need to, and then get back in line." Yes, sir.
Mel Moore. Mel, you remember when Coach Bryant came off the tower and really laid into Coach Moore one time?
Oh,
like everybody was scared of Coach Bryant. The assistant coaches, the players, everybody, man, everybody was scared.
I know.
All right, Mel Moore. I was on the scout team like for years, so I went up against the #1 offense all the time. Yeah. And he'd be yelling that wishbone, push, push, push.
There it is, push, push, push. Go.
Sammy, what the hell did push, push, push?
I'm pushing as hard as I can, Coach. I can't push no more. I just left my push back there.
Who was he talking to? Was he talking to the quarterback or the lineman or something?
And Paul, you know who I hated hitting most of anybody in practice was Paul Carruth. I hated hitting Paul Carruth. Paul didn't want to juke or jive. He just wanted to run over you. And and Ricky Moore, Paul Carruth, of course, Lenny Patrick, the great and late.
No, Sammy. No. How about the DBs we had to hit in practice every day? How about Tommy Wilcox, Jim Bob Harris, Jeremiah Castile? Jeremiah Castile had like a cobra strike.
It's like a ram. You see these rams hitting each other. Jeremiah was like, he's in that ram mode all the time. And he just hit Jim Bob Harris. Oh my gosh. I mean, those guys were just incredible. Tommy, what a class individual. What a great. One of my favorite times is I got a signed football from Tommy Wilcox.
I love Tommy.
Slinging Sammy, the Eider Spider, my awesome teammate. This is one of my proudest treasures right here.
Tommy is something else, man. I learned everything about the strong safety position from Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason I ever got okay at that position was because
dude, you were awesome at it too. So yeah.
Tommy Wilcox, man, he would strike you, and he would had that crooked smile.
He had that swagger.
Hey, to all those fans out there, if they don't know Tommy Wilcox, go back and archive my show, because he tells the story how he quit and Coach Bryant got on the plane with the 2 pilots, just him and the pilots, and flew to Louisiana and talked Tommy into coming back and transformed Tommy's life.
Oh, absolutely. And Tommy's decision at that point in time with Coach Bryant was critical in his career success, everything he did from that point forward. And then Tommy became an All-American. I mean, he's just the bomb.com, no doubt.
Successful outdoor show, man. Successful hunting and fishing show. You still love hunting and fishing, don't you, Sammy?
Oh, man, I love bird hunting is my absolute favorite. I've been deer hunting. I love to fish too, but quail hunting and pheasant hunting, that is my shtick right there. But I absolutely love it. So
oh my gosh,
that's the way to go. Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. So tell me another Coach Bryant story, or tell a life changing story. How the accident that you had at Bama, how that changed your life, and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'll get to the accident here in a minute, but Coach Bryant, he actually wrote my parents a letter, and I've got it right here, Paul. And here's what it says. He said, "Dear Mr. and Ms. Hood, we as coaches often become so deeply involved in recruiting and other phases of the game that we forget to inform parents about the progress of the young men we work with. For this and more, we are deeply apologetic. Academically, I'm sorry to say, Sammy has not done well in his schoolwork. He has a D in math, an F in anthropology, and he missed his first biology exam. It will be difficult for him to make this work up, but it'll take a lot of hard work. Athletically, Sammy has made a big improvement. So my dad had this laying on the table when I got there.
Oh my gosh, Sammy.
Home. I said, I got things going on. He said, no, you don't. You're coming home. So when I got home, that letter was laying on the table. I read it. I was just sweating. I was like, oh my gosh. And so my dad, like, what, do you want to become a coal miner or you want to make something out of yourself? So by George, I was a C+ student from that point forward. So.
Oh my God, that's all right, Sammy.
There's a game changer for me, brother. I'm telling you. And, Coach Bryant may not have written it, but by George, he signed it at the bottom. And I guarantee you,
he wrote it. He wrote it or told somebody to write it verbatim. No, man, he had his finger and his pulse on everybody and everything, and you didn't know it. And that brings us. That's a good transition. He was one of a kind. I still believe he was a GOAT for a lot of reasons we won't get into. But there's no doubt that he and Coach Saban are the two best that ever lived. And we both had both of them at Alabama. Now, if you read Crimson Heart that Coach Mel Moore wrote that we just talked about, or if you've read Dr. Galen McCullough's book, The Long Shadow of Paul Bear Bryant, you will know that Coach Bryant had a feeling there was going to be a dip in Alabama after he retired. And he also knew, folks, listen to what I'm saying. Coach Bryant also knew that the Alabama fans would not understand. Yeah. And that's what's happening now, Sam.
It's exactly what's happening now, Paul. And, when Coach Perkins came in, there was a big transition. And, when you're trying to fill shoes like that, oh, my goodness, how do you do it? And not, face skepticism and criticism. Right. Just like Coach DeBoer now. I mean, Coach Saban, he created an atmosphere that there's so many expectations and such a dominance. It's like, Coach Saban, he wanted those players to get to that next level. That was his goal, but he wanted them to get their education too. I think Coach DeBoer is the same route. It's just you got to give him a little time, he's going to do great. There's really going to be some great things, but you've got that transition period that you've got to get through. So just give him a little bit of time,
Yep, give him a little bit of time, give him the benefit of the doubt, but let's just wait. Alabama fans, just wake the hell up. He's not going to win 5-6 national titles.
Well, look at Coach Saban. Coach Saban had a 9-3. He didn't have a great season his first season there, right? 2007, 2008.
No, he did.
And so you just got to get through that transition. And my son, Rock, my oldest son, I've got two boys, Rock and Stone. But Rock went through his first football camp at Alabama, and he called me up and said, Dad, he said, there's a ton of people leaving. I said, what do you mean? He said, these players are leaving. I said, why? He said, because it's hard. He said, this isn't a marketing camp. This is a football camp. I said, what are you going to do, Rock? He said, well, I'm staying. I said, yes, you are. I'm not coming to get you. So
Rock's there?
Rock and Stone. So anyway, it was just a great there again. Coach Saban, it's like, man, this isn't a fluff, take your picture and look good camp. I'm going to teach you something. And so, that's just Coach Saban. But, Coach Bryant was the same way. He just had that heart and he just had that toughness. Yeah. And remember, we never got water hardly. I mean, really, we never, you might have got 4 little Dixie cups of water per practice, but nowadays they just get squirted in the face even when they're not looking. So,
it's much easier. Every generation gets a little softer, Sammy. We were a little softer than the World War II generation. But so that's the way life is. All right, it's time for a rapid round fire, Sammy. These are like short, stupid questions that require short, intelligent answers.
Oh no! You'll get a short and stupid answer because I've got limits there, Paul. I can only do so much with this head of mine. So
I don't know, man. You've done pretty good for yourself. We're going to talk about your business and your company in just a second. All right, you ready?
Yeah, go.
All right, dog or cat?
Dog.
Car or truck?
Truck.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Early bird or nighthawk?
Early bird.
Talent or intangibles?
Ooh, talent.
Ooh, boat or motorcycle?
Motorcycle.
Offense or defense?
Defense, of course.
Meat or seafood?
Meat.
Yep. College or pro sports?
College all day long.
Rap, country, or rock and roll?
Country.
Boxers, briefs, or commando?
Oh, commando.
Yeah, boy. Commando is the only way. All right, Sammy. So, man, you're really successful. I'm really proud of you. You met somebody, a beautiful Canadian lady, Norma.
Oh my goodness, she's awesome. And Norma is just my. I've been through a couple divorces and lived in Montana, but I'm telling you, this girl is just as sweet as pie, and I'm so in love with her. So we're just matching. Awesome.
All right, talk about your medical device company. Talk about that.
Paul,
how'd you get started? How'd you get started, and how's it going?
Here's the deal. Remember the 1st and 10 Club? It's for Alabama, you get your resume to them, and they shoot your resumes throughout 200 or 300 companies. So I got a call from Russ Pharmaceuticals back in 1985, and that's where I first started off selling Lortabs, these pain medications. So I went from there. I've sold vascular grafts with Gore-Tex, and then I got in the spine business. I've sold spinal implants for years and years and years. So I was in surgery. That's what everybody kind of had a hard time believing. Like, you in surgery telling doctors what to do? I said, yeah, I can believe that stuff. So I've done a kind of a smorgasbord of different things, and I was in spine for a long time. But the grind in that is just, once you get a little older, when you're on call 24/7, it kind of wears on you. So now I'm selling a menopause drug for hot flashes and night sweat, the first hormone-free drug. And for the Japanese company, and man, it's just they're treating me so good. So it's just a awesome. Good. I've had a great career and just met a lot of fantastic people. Dealt with a lot of surgeons, good and bad, but it's been a fantastic career, Paul.
All right, so Rock and Stone, do they have any children?
No, but Rock is in California, in Glendale. And Stone is in Westminster, Colorado, as a youth pastor. So.
Wow.
And Stone's married. My youngest is married. So, but no kids so far, no grandkids. So,
and it's amazing how the kids grow up and move. Both of my brother's kids are out west. It's not like it used to be, man. They all move away.
I know, and it just is what it is. It's part of life, and
Hey, one life lesson. Hey, one life lesson from your accident, brother.
Oh my goodness. Well. Don't drink and drive. How about that? So that's what happened to me. We were out spelunking, having a great time. It was on my birthday, and I fell asleep at the wheel and hit a bridge abutment, doing about 60. So I'm glad I'm still here. I'm on my 7th life of 9 lives, I believe. So
I'm on like 10, man. I'm on borrowed time.
I got 2 left, I think, Paul. So
oh my God. Hey, Sammy, I started writing a book, man. And the first thing I thought were, chronologically, right? I'll take it from my earliest memories. And I'm only at 16 years old, and I've got like 7 near-death experiences.
Oh my goodness.
Alcohol was like involved in most of them.
Yeah, I know. And that's
a cautionary tale
forever. But yeah, it was one of those moments where I stayed in the car trapped underneath the dash for about 4 hours, and state trooper comes by. They finally got me to Erlanger, and they put me in a body cast. So I was in a body cast for 3 months, had knee surgeries too. But man, it was a really tough summer, and I tried to come back. I thought about it, like, what? I got a half decent spine and a bad knee. I think I'm just. And Coach Perkins was so great. He said, "Sammy, we're going to take care of your education. We're going to redshirt you. See if you can make it back." So, awesome. I really did appreciate that. I was so grateful for it, Paul.
Right.
So,
Awesome. Wow, Sammy, it's a beautiful thing, man. I got a question. Who do you think would be good to have a guest on the show?
Oh my goodness. Barry Krause.
Barry Krause. There you go.
How Barry Krause. Barry and I worked off a couple of times, and man, he's still a beast. This dude is so big, and he's so nice, and he would be a great one to get on your show.
Marty Lyons would be too. I tried to get a hold of Marty. I had him on my radio show about 7, 8, 9 years ago, but he's a quality guy, Marty Lyons.
Big time. And of course, Anthony Smiley just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and that you talking about, I know that guy, they led an incredible life, was one of the best guys you will ever meet. Just happy, in a good mood, attitude. But
one
of the best services I've ever attended was Anthony Smiley's. I mean, they had it just down pat. What a great family he had. So, you know, God rest.
God rest his soul.
You betcha. He's
right.
Awesome.
Great having you, Sammy. I love you, brother. Thank you.
Paul, thank you so much, man. I enjoyed it, and you just roll tide, roll, okay?
Roll tide, roll, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Peace, buddy.
Thank you.
Sammy Hood, Slinging Sammy Hood, man. What a player. What a great story, success story, man. He was a lot of fun. And, learned a hard lesson the hard way. But all of us do, including myself. So thanks for watching Coach's Corner. Stay tuned for these great messages. Without these sponsors, this show just wouldn't be possible. It's a beautiful day for football. Remember that. So long, everybody.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait. Wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
75 years of service in high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than the simple painted brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Hey, Bama fans, this is Will Moore, president of the Pensacola Bama Club. You can find us at PensacolaBamaClub.com. We are your official alumni chapter in the Pensacola and surrounding areas. Membership is available to all alumni and all Bama fans, so come see us at one of our many events throughout the year. Our Bama football watch parties are the next best thing to being in Bryant-Denny Stadium. We even serve authentic stadium hot dogs. Membership, event, and contact information will be found on our website at PensacolaBamaClub.com. Roll Tide.
Over 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352, 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.